Welcome back, everybody. It is Thursday. It is February the 20th, 2025. We went from yesterday's temperature was, well, actually, I'm going to put you on hold for just a moment. Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is take two. I just had a quick errand I had to run. So again, it is February the 20th, 2025. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. We began today with a temperature of 2 below zero. Normally, in such weather, I would wait to let this guitar acclimate, but we've warmed up to a balmy 42 degrees. And this has been sitting in a UPS truck all day long, but I'm guessing, hopefully, as the day went on, the truck was slowly warming up. They have that opaque panel on the top for their lighting, so I'm sure as the day went on, the box feels cold, but certainly not frozen. Earlier in the week, I got a guitar, and the temperature was actually 15 below zero, and I let it warm up for about 4 hours. So hopefully this doesn't work against me. Normally I wouldn't be anticipating, but this is the elusive IYV IJGAP 200. And the story behind this guitar is that I actually put my original order in for this guitar 14 months ago to the day tomorrow, December the 21st, 2024. I may have set a record for the person who's waited the longest for an Amazon order, 14 months. The story is it was on order till, so that was 224, and that was actually 23 to 24, 2023, December of 2023. So I waited patiently until August of 2024, and finally I contacted Amazon, and they said, wow, we never ordered this guitar. Okay, there's a failure for you. So they suggested that I cancel my order, and I order it again, which I did. Waited till September, October, heard nothing, was losing faith that there was in fact a guitar waiting for me, contacted them again. They said that the guitar had actually been ordered, but they had no idea when it was going to come, and finally I just gave up. I said, okay. Because it only shows up on the Amazon website very quickly, for a day, 2, 3, and then it disappears again. So I bailed again, thinking that this just was not going to happen, that there just was no hope. Actually, it looks pretty nice. As with all IYV guitars, their fret-ins are usually a cut above the competition for budget guitars. So anyway, so I believe I canceled the order again, because I just was without hope. Then, I think, in November, it came on again, and I placed an order. Again, keep in mind, these are all classic IYV guitars, currently not in stock, right? So it's basically a pre-order. Ordered it again. Waited a month, 2 months. Gave up again, canceled the order. And then finally, in the beginning of February, these showed up, and they actually said they were in stock, although they weren't technically, but apparently they had placed the order, and they were coming, they were on their way. So that felt more confident. Serial number says that this was made in 24, but IYV is infamous for recycling their serial numbers. Actually, Grote's the most guilty. Grote puts the same serial number on multiple guitars. Like, okay, well, we'll never notice that. So anyways, here it is. And hopefully my premature unpacking does not have a negative effect. This is the updated version. The original ones, the battery was in the control compartment. This one actually has a battery door, which is a beautiful thing. So I don't see any immediate flaws on this. Looks like there's some junk on the pickup, but hey. So I'm just going to plug it in and see where it goes. I have no idea. Yeah, it didn't feel bad. And it does have the contour. I couldn't quite tell based on the picture because of the way the line is here on the sunburst. And I actually have a IJGAP 300 that should be here next week. I believe the only difference is the finish is different and it doesn't have the sound cone, whatever the heck that is. Another guy said his had a big hole in it. This one does have a hole, but it's a small hole, so hopefully it's no big deal. Anyways, it looks nice. Let's go see how it sounds, shall we? And we will be back in a bit. Ooh, welcome back, everybody. It is again February the 20th, 2025, and this is the IYV IJGAP 200. This is sort of their version of inexpensive, budget-friendly Acoustasonic. Of course, it's nothing like an Acoustasonic. Much more sophisticated guitar, many more features. But hey, for the price, I mean, I think they're selling these for $150. And overall, I must say I'm quite pleased. I really won't know the full story until I do two things. Excuse me. One thing will be eventually to change the strings. I'm cheap, so it'll probably be a while before I change the strings, but I'm sure that will make a marked difference. The camera's not really picking up the finish the way that it looks in real life. Just based on what I'm seeing in the viewfinder here, it looks like it's just two-tone. You don't really see. It looks much more severe. If you bring the camera in, even that looks much more severe than it really looks like in real life. So you'll just have to take my word for it or get one for yourself, although these are currently sold out. But yeah, overall, so put some new strings on it, and the other thing is they put mini potentiometers in the cavity here. There's supposed to be 3 of them, and so you can, in here, so you can balance out the volume between the piezo, is what I call it, some people call it piezo, and the pickup, the humbucker. And one fella who did a review of this a few days ago said when he took it apart that this is actually an active pickup, which is that it's actually going through the preamp. It's not just a passive humbucker. I have no idea. Don't know what any of this means. I'll take him at his word. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. You can't see it with the camera, but there is, let's see if I can show you. I don't know if you can really see it. Yeah, you can see it. There's a weird hole there. Now his guitar, I guess that whole piece of wood is completely missing. That looks sort of cheesy. You know, doesn't look like that was, they decided to do it. I'm not sure what the logic is for that. But it does fall under a simple theory that I have, and that simple theory is if I can't see it when I'm playing it, it doesn't really matter. And I will not be able to see that when I'm playing. That's just an odd piece of wood to begin with. I mean, again, if you're familiar with IYV guitars, you know, they are a budget guitar. So you're not talking about the highest quality. He was commenting on the finish had a lot of little specks of dust and stuff, and I can feel it too. There's definitely a roughness to it, but again, it's a guitar. It's to be played. It's not your girlfriend to be caressing, although you do hold it in your hand, but when you're playing it, you don't notice those tiny things. Overall, the fit and the finish is actually really quite nice. There may be a slight little issue with the 6th string and the nut. The nut might be a little bit tall because it's a little bit sharp when you play it. The neck pocket, pretty good. It's not perfectly even here where it meets up with the body, but again, these are what I consider to be very minor, I would call them cosmetic issues. But as far as the build goes, the tuners, hey, they're cheap, but they work. And again, the strings are probably the absolute cheapest strings in the world. This switch, flaky, 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 who knows how long it'll last. When I got the guitar, the knobs were shoved down, so there was a scraping sound, but you just pop them up a little bit and they're smooth. The problem with the piezo pickup is that the treble is just ultra sensitive. You have to like almost turn it all the way off or it just sounds incredibly harsh. 90% of the time I'm just going to play it in the middle position, which is why it's important for me to get these two balanced to my taste. Some people find it a complete turn-off, the screws and the bridge. I find it to be an incredibly great idea. This bridge is going nowhere. The bridge to nowhere. Yes, it's going nowhere. Those screws, because I'm guessing, yeah, that feels solid. So this is like screwed into solid. This feels hollow. So yeah, it's but anyways, I think it's a great value, and it's an unusual guitar. I don't think there's anybody else making a knockoff or an imitation, like I said, and it's a pale imitation because the Acoustasonic is like got all kinds of electronic gizmos going on with it, and yeah, it's a much more sophisticated guitar. But if you're just looking for something different, this certainly fit the bill. And like I said, I have a IJGAP 300 coming next week, and again, I believe the only difference is it has the, for lack of a better word, the sound cone, which I don't know what difference it makes, and it has a different finish, and it's $10 more, so who knows. So I probably won't end up keeping both of them. I'll figure out which one I like the most and sell the other one, and so someone will have a good fortune in my neck of the woods to potentially get their hands on one of these, because they are very, I won't say rare, but they're not on Amazon very often, and you know, you can go to eBay and you can get these, but you have to pay like, you know, $80, $90, $100 shipping, and I'm cheap. I prefer the free shipping. And you know, I bought a lot of other guitars in the last 14 months, and this one was just sort of on the periphery, and today was the day, and it came. And I pulled it out of the box. I didn't even wait for it to acclimate, and it doesn't seem to be any worse for the wear. It seems like it just felt right at home. And so I will do minor adjustment. There's a couple fret ends that could use a little bit of filing. And other than that, again, quite satisfied for what it is. You have to just keep everything in context. It is a budget guitar, but I think it's a pretty sweet budget guitar. So thank you for joining us. When we come back, it'll be sometime next week, and again, that will be for the IYV IJGAP 300. This is the 200. Thank you very much.